Guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. So I'm really pleased to be able to bring you, this is the third one of the PD1701 I've got in, and I'm going to let you know why I brought this one in. So they have now gone, they've kept improving this watch to a point now where it's quite possibly challenging, if not surpassed, their Daytona homage. Yeah, the PD1701. They've done a lot of good bits there. I had the version 1, the hands were wrong and stuff. They've since rectified that. The most recent iteration was looking really cool. They've since brought out a meteorite style. It's not meteorite, it's meteorite style dials, blue and white. I've gone for the blue because I've really wanted to see what it was offering, because with the specs and the build quality and stuff of this watch, it seems like a really good proposition. And when you consider the fact that Moonswatch from Swatch was out a little while ago with their collaboration with Omega, this watch really does seem to blow that out of the water for the price. You could pick this up from anywhere between sort of £80 ish, and for what you're getting, Seiko movement, solid construction, sapphire crystal, fully milled clasp, and now a meteorite style dial. Is it as good as it seems? I guess there's no time like the present to find out. So thanks for tuning back in. I do appreciate all your love and support. And without further ado, let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Alright guys, so this is the watch. Packaging. It's one of the random packages they send it in now. There's sort of 2 or 3 iterations of the box that you get, but it's not that important. You put it apart in a foam that goes on the top. There's the watch inside. I did need to take out, I'll show you. I did take out, if I can get them out, 5 links for it to fit my wrist, and absolutely no issues sizing this. I did have problems with the rose gold one. There was a few people commenting saying it could well be because of the PVD coating, which it might well be given the fact this was really easy to size. But yeah, that's all the instruction manual, warranty card, all that stuff, nothing signed. Screwdriver, I'll just pop down the side as well, don't need that. Cleaning cloth it comes with. Let me put everything back though, because then we can concentrate fully on the watch itself, because obviously that's why you've tuned in. I'll leave the cleaning cloth in and around just in case I need to use it to wipe anything. But this is the watch. As I said, this one's the version 4. I'll bring it up a little bit closer to the camera. Have a look at that dial, guys. It's sort of a meteorite style. It's not going to be a real meteorite given the price, but as you can see, looks quite nice, doesn't it? Actually, I'd say I was going as far as saying it looks quite beautiful. Very nice indeed. But you can do a bit more AR coating, as you can see the lights and stuff. But yeah, so this is the PD1701 version 4. Inside it's running a Mecha Quartz movement. It's a Seiko VK63 movement. I'll bring some information up about that movement now. No problems with the movement whatsoever. I do quite like the Mecha Quartz movements, and it's quite nice where it keeps the watch quite affordable as well, given if it was an automatic or mechanical movement inside, it wouldn't be coming in at sort of sub £100. Yeah, it just wouldn't be possible. So yeah, nice movement, VK63 movement. The construction of the watch, aside from the bezel and crystal, are all 316L stainless steel. So that's the case, which has got nice brushing at the sides, polished edge, and brushed on top of the lugs. The bracelet is a bit really brushed, but it's got a couple faceted edges inside that are polished. The clasp, yeah, is brushed, a couple faceted edges on there as well, and the case back is done really nicely. I've mentioned this before, I do quite like the case back on these watches. Nice little bit of attention to detail, and looks the business, doesn't it? So yeah, all 316L stainless steel, and a real mixture of brushing and polishing, as I've mentioned. The thickness of this watch is 14.1 millimeters. I'll bring it up just a little bit closely, just for a second. I like the way that the bezel's done, actually. The way it's sort of like 2 faceted parts, where it's sort of one there and slopes down, but they're both polished and they look very nice. Not something you'd really notice, but something that I sort of jumped on and was having a good look at it, and I do like that. But anyway, I digress. 14.1 millimeters thickness. The case diameter, obviously you have to measure excluding the push or the crowns that are in there to there. It was coming at a 42.1, and when you go from the 9 to the 3, including the crown and the pushes, is very much the same. it's coming at 43.9 millimeters. The lug width on this is 20. That does taper down to 18 and back up to 20 mil at the clasp, and the lug to lug tip to tip is 48.8 millimeters, and that does maintain and stay 48.8 given it is female end links of the center link, so it doesn't add any more length to the watch, which is nice to see. The case back I've already showed you is a screw down case back. Let's give you one more look, because I do like that. It's something that I've mentioned before, and I dare say I'll mention again. I do like the case back. Screwed down, as I mentioned. The bezel is a ceramic bezel and is a tachymeter bezel, and so you can use it for timing stuff and so on and so forth. I don't really use it, to be honest, but it's there anyway. And this one is lined up bang on. I've had issues sometimes with some fixed bezels, tachymeter bezels, where they're a bit off, but this isn't the case. With this one, it looks bang on, and the crown is situated at the 3 o'clock. It's a screw down crown, and your pushers at the 2 and 4, and we'll talk about those in a few moments time. The bracelet's nice. As I said, a bit of taper, nicely brushed, all brushed at the sides also, nice bit of polished in the center links, and the clasp fully milled, 3 levels of micro adjustment, and it does have a diver's extension, which comes as pretty much standard in a lot of these watches from Pagani Design at this point. The crystal covering the dial is quite a bit of pronounced boxed domed sapphire crystal. As I say, could do with a bit of AR coating, but given the price point, I think it's coming in at yeah, you can't complain too much. But yeah, sapphire crystal nonetheless. And the water resistance is cited as being 100 meters, so that would give you 10 atmospheres of water resistance, and the weight will appear in the top right hand corner. It's about 137 grams with 5 links removed. With those 5 links removed, you're probably looking at mid to late 150s. So yeah, nice bit of heft for this watch. But let's have a look at the dial now, guys, in a bit more detail. So what you've got a minute track, a couple different textures going on the dial. You've got the outer part of the dial, which is done very nice in silver. Inside that, you've got the blue meteorite style. You've got buttons everywhere, slightly smaller at the 9 and 3 o'clock positions to make way, and also it looks like a little bit of the 6 as well to make way for the sub dials. Let me just start the pusher going at the 2 o'clock so we can have a look at the dial a little bit nicer. It's actually positioned quite nicely, so I'm not going to move the hands just yet. You've got Pagani Design. The logo is printed, applied, excuse me, but the Pagani Design chronograph bit looks like it's printed onto the dial. And just below the sub dial, down at the 6 o'clock, you've got Japan movement, just denoting the fact it's a Seiko movement running inside. The proportions are nice actually in terms of where it's done. The sub dials, nice bit of detail on them. I'll operate, see what you'll see where I've operated the pusher at the 2. That's for the chronograph second hand. The chronograph, the sub dial at the 9 o'clock is the chronograph minutes, so that will count up the minutes. The one at the 3 o'clock, excuse me, is the 24-hour clock, just letting you know that it's coming up to 5 o'clock in the afternoon my time. And obviously the sub dial at the 6 is the seconds for the time, so that's just counting that up. I'll also bring a loom shot up now, guys, actually, so you can have a look at the loom. The loom's done reasonably well, no real concerns, not bad nor good, but given it's not a diver, it does the job. It's not some Paganis that are pretty substandard, so the loom's fine. And the dial was just the star of the show on this one for me. Not all white hands on this, which might have been a nice touch, but the black elements are quite nice in keeping with the way it sort of glistens off the indices, which are silver, but in different lighting conditions they do look black, which also helps with the hands and stuff. So yeah, it might have been nice to have all white with the contrast of the sort of icy blue for sort of like, yeah, icy conditions. But yeah, it works nice. Looks the business, as you can see. Press the pushing out at 2, it will stop. Press one at the 4, both of them, the second hands and the sub dial at the 9 go back up to the 12 o'clock position. And if you unscrew the crown, which I'll do very quickly, it pops ever so slightly. You could do probably a little bit more. If you take the crown out, you'll see it hack down at the bottom, and put it back and it will start back up again. And take it all the way out. If you move it around, you can obviously change the time. I'll put it to the position I normally do, put it back and it will start back up again. Yeah, no issues there at all. And as I say, the The dial on this is really the star of the show, isn't it? It looks stunning. You also get this in a white. I'll bring that up next to us now, actually, so you can see. I went for the blue, but you can also do the white with the faux meteorite style. But let me just pop it on the wrist quickly, guys. Give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. My wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist for your reference. And as you can see, I took 5 links out, and that's what it's looking like on my wrist. I haven't used any micro adjustment as of yet, but that's always an option. But given it fits me perfectly, I'd probably have to put another link in to use that. So there we are. Nice shape of the bezel and case as well. Nicely finished. But let me just give it a quick wipe, and then we can get on with what I think is pants and pucker about the watch. Okay, so that would now take me on, as I said, to what I think is pants and pucker. If you've ever watched before, you know I always start with pants. I like to kind of high with pucker. So what I think is pants, the ghost position, I was always going to mention that. I didn't mention it before, but yeah, it's a ghost position. If I take the crown out to the first, you can hear that, can't you? Yeah, it's the date. I'd rather they used a no date variant if they're not going to put a date on the dial. And the thickness, I think the thickness is way too thick. You're talking 14 millimeters. Obviously, you've got the crystal and stuff, but given the movement inside is going to be minuscule inside that case, they could have shaved a good couple of mils off that, and it would have been better. But otherwise, yeah, no real complaints, I must say. So yeah, just the ghost position and the thickness are what I think is pants. What I think is pucker, no surprises. The dial, I hope you really got a good feel for it in my macro shots at the start. Really nicely done with that dial. Beautiful. Sapphire crystal, of course. I was going to mention the sapphire crystal. The case back, you'd have seen as well. The case back is nice. I really like the case back. The bracelet, I've liked the bracelets on this for a while. This feels a lot more refined, no sharp edges. Nice bit of taper and just finished nicely, which is becoming a general theme now. The general look, these sort of watches are very popular. Obviously, they're homaging a more well-known watch, but yeah, they're doing a good job. So the general looks good. The finishing I've mentioned umpteen times now with Pagani design watches. I do like the way they're finishing their watches. They're definitely improving. And the price, as I said, you'll pick this up for anywhere £100 and below, depending on sales and coupons. And given the price, I think it represents outstanding value for money. A real winner of a watch. So just to surmise what I think is pucker is, I'll go with the dial, the sapphire crystal, case back, bracelet, general look, finishing, and price. Whew, quite a bit there, wasn't there, guys? So, and that would now take me on to would I recommend the watch? And I definitely would. This is a beautiful looking watch, nicely finished, and just a real sign of where Pagani design seem to be going now. I do really like this watch. This is one of their better offerings, I'm not going to lie, and I would definitely pick one up, guys and girls. But please let me know what you think about this watch, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like, subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the very best.